Around 2:30 in the morning, on a Sunday, I get a phone call. And the phone call says to me, Pat, you need to hurry up and get home. Something has happened to Nicoya. So I get up, I wake my wife up, wake the kids up, and we get in the car, and now we're headed to my hometown, which is about 2 hours from the place I was living. I was living in Augusta. And while we're driving there, after dropping my kids off, I get a phone call, and the phone call says, your daughter has just passed, Nicoya has just passed. And I immediately, my wife is driving, and I'm just screaming going down I-20. And as I'm screaming, I'm getting phone calls, people's texting, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, man, God, what in the world is going on? And to be totally honest, I honestly don't remember anything that transpired from March 31st up until her funeral. It's like I just went into a dark place, not a dark place as if I was trapped in sin or something was pushing me in the wrong direction. I was just like, man, I can't believe I'm in this wormhole of life. When you're a pastor, everybody thinks you're supposed to have everything together. They think you're supposed to just know everything, and you're not supposed to go through things, and that was not the case. Even now, to this day, I still struggle. I still struggle with the fact of losing her. I still struggle with the fact of I won't get to walk her down the aisle. I struggle with the fact of not seeing her graduate from college. I struggle with the fact of just all these moments that I missed because of that one day. People are appointed to live and people are appointed to die. And I had to understand that God gave me 20 years with my kid, with my baby girl, to be with her and nurture her and take care of her and just make sure that she knew Jesus. And the thing that people sometimes tend to don't understand is, like, I will not be the same guy that I was before March 31st. I'm still Patrick, but I'm just different now. And when I say I'm different, I'm not different in a bad way. I'm different in the fact that I rely more on God. I'm different in the fact that I'm more compassionate. I'm different in the fact of I'm more loving towards people. I'm different in the fact that I have more empathy towards people when they're going through things. But now looking back on that, I realize, like, whenever you're struggling, you cannot do this thing called life by yourself. And that's how I felt. I felt like I could figure it out. I'm a pastor. I got everything together. I can figure this thing out. I can just push through. And only in my brokenness was that I realized I needed help. I probably went back to work way too early, if I'm being honest. But I had in my mind, like, man, you know, I got to work. I got to get things, kids got to be taken care of. And it wasn't until one day we were here at the house and my wife began to kind of notice a change in me. And she looks at me and she says, you need to go talk to somebody. And so she makes a phone call to call my best friend, who was a pastor, and she asked him, will you please just come talk to Pat? It was like, okay, well, through my best friend and through my counselor was the thing that pushed me in the right direction. My perspective on life has shifted a lot. I do my best to try to spend more time with my kids than I have now. I do my best to make sure we have more family time, more dinners, more hangouts, more conversations. Even though I've lost her, that she's no longer here, she's transitioned to the other side. My hope in all of this is that I'm going to consider it pure joy, that the testing of my faith is going to produce perseverance, because I know that God has my back. I know that God is with me. He's with me even in this moment as I'm sharing this, through growing in my faith and just trusting God now. I'm in a position that I can do that. I can talk about it. I can talk about it without crying. That doesn't mean I don't want to cry, but I can talk about it without crying. I can talk about it with a little more confidence and clarity and encouragement, because I've learned that everything that I go through in my life is not just for me. It's not just for my family. It is for somebody else to know that there is hope in Jesus.